What is up, my buttery biscuits? This is the very first episode of the Sip and Spill. Basically, this is going to be a weekly recap of what has happened during the week. But you guys want to hear how stupid I am? And I'm sure you guys already know how stupid I am every single time I open my mouth. I totally get that. But this is like, whoa, icing on the cake right here. I filmed this video yesterday on Saturday, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a couple drinks and film this because it's like a pregame and I'm gonna go out, And the whole reason of me even like drinking in this, and that's why I'm calling it the Sip and Spill, is because if you guys don't remember, or maybe you guys didn't partake in, I used to go live maybe about 3 to 4 times a week, and typically I would have quite a few drinks on there, y'all, and we would just kick back and gossip, and it was just really, really fun, honestly. And I do miss doing that, and I think as soon as it cools down, I'm gonna go back to doing lives. But as you guys can tell, I'm filming in my room. And I have this cord that like goes through the house and into the garage. It's like a internet cord. What's it called? Ethernet cord. And it goes through the house and like plugs into my computer and stuff, so that way I have a strong connection. Because y'all, if you guys have been on my lives before, when I go on Wi-Fi, it's just always a hot mess. It just glitches and it's like distorted. And people have sent me before images of like what it looks like. My face is all like scratched in half. You know what I mean? Because they would send me screenshots and be like, you're frozen on live right now. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's because my internet sucks. People would send me super chats and be like, get better Wi-Fi. And I have the best possible Wi-Fi that you can get within my area. It literally costs $100 a month. So I do have a good one. I just don't know what it is about like going live, and especially because I would go live for like 6 hours. It just doesn't stay up. So I was like, you know what? Let me film this and let me go ahead and get it started. If you guys like it, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, because I have to know if you guys like it for me to keep it up. But I was thinking like maybe I'll do once a month, maybe every other week. I don't really know, on live, and I just think it would be really fun, and then I'll save it so that way people didn't catch the live, they can still watch it. I think that would be fun. I don't know, but that's what it's going to be. So I am going to be cracking me open a drink, y'all, because it is Sunday now, and it's so funny that I said last night, this is how just dumb I am that I filmed the video without any audio in. But y'all, what like triggered me the most is just how stupid I am, is that I have the cord, it's like dangled right in front of me into the camera, and I'm like, if I just look at the viewfinder once, I could have seen that the cord was not plugged in it at all. And I'm like, how dumb can I be? So I sat down this morning to go and edit it, and I'm like, yeah, there's no audio, because I'm stupid. I came over to my camera and I'm like, oh, there's no cord set up. So dumb. But it's so funny though that I said within that video, because I was going out last night, I was like, you know what? If I get super tore up tonight, you guys are going to see this probably late on Sunday. If I get super tore up, you guys are going to see it on Monday. And I'm like, you know what's so funny is I actually only had about 6 drinks last night. I really didn't even have too much. I know you guys are probably thinking like, oh my gosh, 6 is a lot, but not for me, because I like drink every weekend. And on top of that too, I'm big. So I'm like, it doesn't really affect me that much. But speaking of going out, last night I went out, and I have to share this story with you guys because that's my little ASMR moment of me opening my Happy Dad. If you guys have not tried Happy Dads, you guys need to try them. They're my favorite seltzer. It's so crazy because the first time the first 2 times I didn't like them. And then after about the third time, I was like, oh, these are my favorite. They taste like a very lightly flavored, like sparkling water. They are just way too easy to drink. In August, I went to Laughlin with my friend. I'm kind of embarrassed to share this with you, but if you guys go to the river, y'all know how it is. We were out there on the river for a total of like 2 days, 48 hours to be exact. And we each drank 3 cases of Happy Dads. We literally, I had 36, she had 36. I was like, okay, so we may or may not have a problem. But y'all know how it is. Like, if you guys go to the river, you're like out there at like 7 o'clock in the morning and you don't come back till like 5 p.m. It's an all day thing. It's not like just 2 hours. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I'm going to sip on my Happy Dad right here. I got the pineapple flavor. The watermelon is my favorite, but pineapple is my second favorite. So I'm like, let me get a little sip. I'm sorry, but that's so refreshing. Anyways, I had said last night about that, I was going to go out, whatever. My story that I want to share with you guys, because I think that this is very like eye-opening. I have been going out for, yeah. Look, I told you guys this before on live, and I think a lot of people think that I'm lying, but y'all, I've been partying since I was 14 years old. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I would be up in them clubs at 14 years old. I would sneak in, and on top of that, too, I looked older. You know what I mean? I have never, ever, 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 not once. And I pretty much go out like every single weekend. Maybe, every other weekend, but pretty much every weekend I go out. This is my first time ever witnessing this. Last night, ironically enough, I thought it would be really fun for me and my friend to do something a little bit more adventurous. I was like, let's name 7 bars that we've never been to and put it into one of those like generators online. Like I just Googled like a will generator. You type in the names and then you push spin. So I had her push it, and we put like this like random bars that we've never been to, little tiny dive bars. And it was so funny because the most rink-a-dink little one, we were like, oh, it's going to land on that. It's this bar called like Seahawk or something. Never even heard of it, never been there. I was like, okay, it's gonna land on that. We were looking at Yelp pictures and it just looked like a hot mess express inside there. Of course, it lands on it, so we go there. We're like, screw it, we have to do it. We have to do something a little bit adventurous. We're so used to our routine of like going to the same places, and we're like, let's switch it up, you know? So we go there. We go inside and we order White Claws, right? They only had White Claws. A lot of places don't have Happy Dads yet, which kind of sucks. Anyways, we go inside, we order 2 White Claws, and the bartender's like, oh, it's cash only. And we're like, damn, we didn't have no cash on us. So we had to leave. But while we were there, we saw this little girl, and I say little girl as in like she was very, very petite and she looked very young. If I had to guess her age, she didn't even look like she was 21, but I'm just assuming she was 21 because she was in the bar. You know what I mean? But I was like, y'all, she looked very, very young. And she was sitting there at the bar by herself. And at first, I was telling my friend, I was like, oh, good for her. Like, to be able to, like, come to the bar alone. Like, you know, it's good. My aunt has always told me, my aunt's a big time partier, y'all. Like, she's 55 and she goes out every single weekend. I feel like that's how I'm going to be. It's just because it's like a nice release, you know? Just get out and have no fun. I mean, have no fun, have no worries and have fun. You know what I mean? So anyways, I was like, good for her for going to the bar alone, because I would love to do that, because my aunt is always telling me go to the bar alone. That's how you're going to meet somebody. Because I'm always telling her, like, how am I going to meet somebody? Like, in the gay world, it's so difficult because it's just like hook up, hook up, hook up. And that's not me. So she always tells me to go alone. So I was like, kudos to her, like, for going to the bar alone. But then also at the same time too, I was thinking, I'm like, where's your friends? Like, I feel like girls can go out with girls and they're still going to get hit on by guys. You know what I mean? But me as a man, that's not going to happen. Especially because, you know what's really weird? I guess maybe because I'm so big, a lot of people think that I'm straight. So every time I go out with any of my homegirls, they think that we're like together in a relationship. So I'm like, damn, I guess I do have to go out alone. I just don't have the balls to do it. Anyways, y'all, we go to the ATM, we come back to the bar, and now this girl who was sitting alone was with an older man. Okay, and mind you, like, if for real, like, she really looked 18, but I guess, you know, let's just go ahead and put her at the youngest of 21. This man that she was with looked like he was like 45 to 50. And I don't know why, for some reason, I told my friend immediately. I was like, I don't like his vibe. Like, I'm not trying to sound like Teresa Caputo or anything and act like I'm like, oh my God, I'm reading his energy. I just was like, there's something about him I don't like. So we sat down, actually, like, kind of catty corner behind them. And we were just like watching them, you know, for a minute. And I was like, this is just so weird. Like, he's I don't know, he's like way too old and he's talking to her, and just, it was weird. Well, they got up to use the restroom, and as they were going to the restroom, I was like, I'm gonna be nosy. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm trying to see what's up with this. So I was tracking him, and I saw him try to go into the bathroom with her. I was like, okay, you're weird. Like, you're literally weird. Like, what are you doing? It was just giving me ick vibes, you know? But anyways, she goes into the restroom, and then he goes back to the bar and he orders drinks. And, you know, I'm like, okay, whatever. Well, hey, at least he's buying her drinks. She comes back, right? No problem. Fine. You know, she sits down. I want to say maybe about 15 to 20 minutes later, she's on the ground. She's on the ground. Like, she looked like she was having like a seizure. Like, she was like, whoa, hot mess, right? The bartender runs around to like go and tend to her. And it's so weird because if this guy is like trying to like get at her, he was just sitting there like, he was acting so weird about it. That's what we were so triggered about. We were like, he did something. Like, he had to have put something in her drink. I think that he roofied her, honestly. And it was just so weird to me because I was like, why is he there? This girl's on the ground. Okay. She was like shaking and whatnot and trying to like get up. I was like, that she's not normal drunk. Like, I've been around so many drunk people. I've been around so many drunk girls. Like, that's not drunk. Like, something was up. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, there's some type of drug involved. So anyways, he's over there just ordering her drink, literally trying to call the other bartender while this other bartender is tending to her on the ground. And I'm like, this is weird. You're sitting here talking to this girl for, I don't know, let's just go ahead and say maybe an hour at this point, and you're just, oh, she's on the floor. It was just weird that you're over here trying to order another beer while she's over here. I don't know. Maybe we're reading too much into it, but I was like, no, like, I really feel like he did something. So my homegirl went up to the bartender and she's like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to be accusatory or anything like that. Is that a word? Accusatory? I don't even know. But she's like, I don't want to like accuse him of something, but I really think that he put something in her drink. And she's like, oh no, I think so too, because she's not drunk. And then there was this other girl who was right next to us and she was like, she's not drunk. That's not drunk. And I was like, exactly. Like, we felt like we're solidified. We were like, okay, yeah, we're not tripping. Like, she's not drunk. Because we were both like, no, like, we've been around so many damn drunk people. This is not okay. Anyways, as it's like progressing, we're sitting there and you could see that people started to question this man, and he was obviously getting very defensive about it. Like, he was like very like, and I'm sorry, but all the red flags were there. I was just like, no, this fool did something. Thank God that bar, it's a tiny bar. I want to say the maximum capacity was probably 50 people. That's how small it was. I want to say primarily it was females there, and thank God that it was, because obviously all the girls took care of her. And then they ended up, they didn't like send her on an Uber or anything, because even I was saying too, I was like, she can't go in an Uber. I don't know if you guys recently saw this story. There was this man, I don't even know where this was, but supposedly, allegedly, he was saving this girl who was getting R word, you know, the R word, I can't say it here on YouTube. And apparently he saved her, and then he ended up doing it to her too. And they caught him on camera. I guess a guy was like, I don't know what he was doing, like on camera. He found the whole damn thing. And I'm like, no, this is why I am so sorry. If your friends are tipsy, do not send your like girlfriends home alone in a Uber. Like, it's scary. I understand they do like little background checks and stuff like that, but it's not enough, you know, especially with somebody who is as small as this girl. Honestly, if I had to guess her weight, I would say literally 90 pounds. Like, she didn't, maybe 115. She was very petite, very, very petite. And she seemed like she was like very easily like to get taken advantage of, you know? So I was like, oh my gosh, this poor girl. So I think they ended up calling the cops. But my whole point of telling this story is, y'all girls really got to be careful out there. I always tell my friends, and they always call me the mom of the group, because I'm always worried about all my homegirls. I'm like, whenever they go somewhere, do something, I'm like, let me know if you're going on a date for the first time. Let me know if you need me to pop up, because I just get so scared. And actually, like, witnessing that last night, y'all, I'm 33 now. I've literally been partying since I was 14. I've never seen that. And it just really reopened up my eyes. And I told my homegirl, I was like, okay, so now you know why I'm always worried. And this is why everyone calls me the mom of the group. But I'm just like, damn, like, I don't know. I have nothing but girlfriends. So I feel like, you know, like I got to protect them all. And I just see the way that men work. And I was like, but it really does suck though that he was just chilling there like no problem. There was a few people that did go up to him to talk to him, and there was this one girl in particular that was like, I know you did something. I was just like, oh, but it was just, you know, it sucked that nobody actually witnessed if he did put something in her drink or whatnot, you know, but it definitely did look that way. So all I'm saying is be very careful out there. And look, I'm sure it's really nice to receive some drinks from some guys at the bar, but also too at the same time, I'd be like, get a canned beverage that you have to open up yourself. Like, get a White Claw that's, you know, you have to open up yourself, because I'm like, no, you get a mixed drink. It's so easy for somebody to pop something in there. And he was just giving me creeper vibes. It was just, I don't know. I'm probably gonna go back to that bar though, because low key, it was kind of fun in there. It really reminded me of like, I grew up in San Pedro, for those of you that don't know, and there's a row of bars over there, and it just reminded me of all the like little hood bars over there, and I really did like it. I was like, oh, this reminds me of Pedro. It was nice, but I don't know. Hopefully I don't run into that man though, because he's a creeper. Sorry, I have to get me a drink. Anyways, we are going to be getting into some topics, and just letting you guys know, there's no structure to this video. As you guys know, I'm a hot mess. As you guys know, I have ADD, undiagnosed. So I'm going to try to stay on topic, but then also at the same time too, I'm just that person who, if I'm telling a story, you have to be prepared for 10 stories in between. That's just who I am. I actually just saw a comment on TikTok right now of somebody, because I re-uploaded my REM Sweetener Foundation review onto TikTok. And somebody's like, I just wanted you to like apply the makeup, but you talk so much. And I was like, that's just me. That's me. If you guys don't like it, like, there's always other places to go. You know what I mean? It's that simple. There's about 10,000 other REM beauty foundation reviews out there. You don't have to watch mine. Speaking of which, oh my gosh, let me go on a little bit of a tangent right here. Because speaking of TikTok, I got so triggered today. I don't know if you guys saw my story on TikTok. Whew, it bothers me so much that somebody commented on my video. This is one of my biggest triggers. I don't know why. I don't know why. When people come onto my page and tell me, who asked you to make this? Who asked you to say that? Who asked for this type of content? It's like, you're clicking play. That means you asked for it. You're clicking on my video. And it just really bothers me too, because at the same time, I'm like, you're coming onto my page, which is like my home, and telling me who asked for this. It's my page. I'll post what I want, do what I want, say what I want. I get so irritated about that, because I'm just like, people are so entitled these days. You think that your opinion is just so much more than mine. And it's like, I'm saying this on my page. I see hundreds of videos a day that I don't agree with. I don't go onto their page and say, who asked for this? Who's asking you to make this type of content? No, it's their page. It's their page. They can say what they want and do what they want. That's just it. The entitlement these days is so crazy to me that I'm like, that's funny though. But it's like, really, you have the audacity to come onto my page and say who's asking for it. You clicked on the video. You could have scrolled off. You know what I mean? The fact that you watched it and you're saying that, it's like, you got something wrong with you. I just don't get it. It really bothers me. I'm like, honestly, y'all, I'd rather be called every name under the sun. Like, you can just go on there and call me a fat fag rather than saying who asked for this. Because it's like, in my view, I feel like it's like going into somebody's house and saying, who asked you to paint the walls this color? Why would you do that? It's like, it's your house and you could do what you want with it. You know what I mean? I just don't understand some people sometimes. Anyways, we do obviously have some deep topics. We're going to be talking about the Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake drama. That's a doozy. That's a doozy. I honestly am like ready to get my hands on that book, but I will be getting the audio version. As y'all know, I can't read. Me and reading, I mean, I could read obviously, but like it just goes in through my brain, out through my brain, and listening to the audiobooks is just, it's really good for me. Like that actually resonates in my brain, and I could like remember it as to when I read. It's just in and out, in and out. I don't know if you guys have that same thing, but I will be getting my hands on that. We're going to be talking about that situation a little bit later because that's the biggest topic. I do want to talk about a couple lighthearted topics before this. I want to talk about this. This is so stupid. I want to talk about this wax figure of Dwayne The Rock Johnson going viral on Twitter. And I don't get it. I look at this and I'm like, there's something wrong with me. Like I'm delusional. Maybe I'm not seeing things right. Maybe there's something wrong with like my cornea. I don't know. Like I just am not seeing it right. Dwayne The Rock Johnson did this this wax figure right here, and everyone's like, oh, it looks more like Vin Diesel. This doesn't look anything like him. And I'm like, am I tripping? Or does this look exactly like him? I feel like this looks exactly like him. The only thing is his skin tone. He does look a little bit more tan, but I'm like, this looks just like him. I'm not getting it. And the comments all over Twitter are talking about how much it doesn't look like him. And I'm like, it quite literally looks like him. I don't really understand. I don't get it. I'm like, please, please someone agree with me in the comments because I feel like I'm losing my mind. I'm like, why is this going viral for not looking like him when I really feel it looks just like him? Am I crazy? I know I'm a little bit crazy, but then I feel like, well, I'm not blind, am I? I don't know. Let me know about that. Another lighthearted news that TMZ posted, that TMZ felt the need to post, okay? I'm sorry, this is just so random, but I do have some opinions about this. That's why I'm talking about it. If you guys don't know who Kim Zolciak is, she's on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. She did have a spinoff show. Forgot what her spinoff show was called. She's actually like in the middle of a divorce with her husband, Kroy Biermann. But in my opinion, I kind of felt like that was like drummed up for views. I kind of feel like she needs like another reality show because maybe they're going a little bit broke and they're like, oh no, we gotta like stir up some drama so that way we can get our names talked about and then start a show, because it was announced that they were getting divorced and then they said no, they're not getting divorced, and then like a week later they're separating but then not getting divorced, and then now they're just divorcing. So I'm like, which one is it? And then I think too, during that period, like the cops got called to their house because things were getting messy. I'm like, what's going on here? I was like, this seems like it's a ploy for views, because I could sense a reality show coming up real soon, and I will be watching. Yes, I will. Okay, I'm just throwing that out there. I will be watching. Anyways, TMZ felt the need to report this as news. They posted, Kim Zolciak gets laser vaginal rejuvenation amid divorce with Kroy Biermann. I have to say this right here. One of the comments that popped up, it said, I had a grilled cheese for lunch. Where the fuck's my article? I feel the same way. I literally feel the same way. I'm like, why is this news? But since you made it news, I'm gonna talk about it, and I just have some, opinions about this. If you guys are under the age of 18, click off this video because it's about to get really graphic right now, okay? Because I'm sorry, I just have some points about this. First of all, if she's getting vaginal rejuvenation in the middle of a divorce, I totally get that. I'm like, yeah, I agree. Go ahead and do it. Here's my theory on it. What if she was with Kroy Biermann for so long, and let's just say that he has a big old ding dong, okay? And obviously you're with a man, and let's just say that you're, doing it all the time and he got a big old ding dong, like maybe things are going to get a little loosey-goosey down there, you know what I mean? And let's just say that she's preparing herself to get into another relationship or hook up with somebody else, and she just wants to tighten things up and like make sure that they're snatched to her liking and make her feel a little bit more comfortable. And you know what's really crazy? And I'm pretty sure that I'm like the only gay man out there that will say this. I am not one of those gays that is like, oh, I'm looking for a big old ding dong. I'm not. I'm literally anti it. I'm like, I don't want somebody with a big old wiener. Like I don't, because my whole theory about it is, what if I'm in a relationship with a man for like a good 5-6 years, and then we break up, and then I'm all loosey-goosey, and then I go be with somebody else who's like smaller or like even just average, and then it's like, oh, well, I'm all stretched out, I'm all loosey-goosey down there, and it's like throwing a hot dog, through a hallway. It's like, that's just not gonna work, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, yeah, if she's getting a divorce, I totally agree with this. Go ahead and get your vaginal rejuvenation. Why this is news? Don't know. Literally don't know, but I was like, we're gonna talk about it because I genuinely feel like that makes perfect sense, and I'm sorry, but I just feel like this is why I'm like anti-big wieners. And I know that so many gays out there are like, oh my god, like if you guys go on Grindr or whatnot, like even girls out there go on Grindr just for the fun of it, and you guys just look around and just see everyone's all hung for hung, looking for hung, and I'm just like, no, I'm looking for average. That's what I'm gonna put on my bio, looking for average. That's literally what I'm into, because I'm telling you, them things will be stretching you out, and I don't know if you want that, Anyways, moving on to the next topic. Kat Von D. Okay. Kat Von D is just out there. And I don't know what's like going on with Kat Von D right now, but she's going through what seems to be like a midlife crisis. Or hey, you know what? Maybe she's just like waking up and like, I don't know. Like maybe she thought that she would try something new. I don't know. But she got baptized. Don't know if you guys saw that. Well, now she's actually getting some backlash from the Christian community. And I want to say this before even talking about it. This is just me and my opinion, and I'm speaking from my personal experience that I have dealt with. When people claim to be the most Christian people, they have, to me, been the worst people I've ever encountered. I'm not kidding. Like, I have somebody who is in my personal life who's actually married to somebody in my family, my direct family, and they claim to be so Christian, so holier than thou. They're a holy roller. And every single time this person gets drunk, y'all, I got socked before, okay, by a female, by the way, and water thrown at me because this person said that I need holy water. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, you don't like the gays. Cool, that's fine. Even though I've known you, you've been with this person that's directly related to me for 30 years. So I don't, and y'all, I have to say in my family, we're all gay. Like, everyone, y'all, my uncle's gay, my aunt's gay. I got about 15 gay cousins, and I'm not exaggerating. We're all gay. So it's like, girl, come on. You know what I mean? In my personal opinion, I just feel like a lot of Christians who are like really diehard Christians are just, I don't know, they just have not been nice to me. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure God's going to be loving. You know what I mean? Like, you're over here like praising Jesus and all that, which is fine and dandy. Do you? But why are you also hating on me at the same time and calling me a sinner when you're over here drinking and smoking? And those are all sins. And last time I checked, sins are created equal. So I'm like, I'm not getting it. The hypocrisy is really crazy to me. Anyways, Kat Von D addresses the baptism backlash. And this is what it says right here in the description. It says the tattoo artist responds to Christians accusing her of faking her baptism and criticizing her appearance before they double down on their hate, calling her new music video a slap in the face for Christian people. And look, I understand that she's not the typical looking Christian person, but if she wants to convert to being a Christian and she wants to get baptized, that's her life. It's her choice. My thing about Christians is they're just so unaccepting. Like, I get it. Like, they're like, oh, if you're Christian, like, you can't like ink your body. You can't have like symbols. And like, there's just so many different rules, And I'm like, okay, you guys should really change that though, because times are changing, and let's keep it real. Pretty much everybody has a body modification these days, And on top of that too, like, everybody has ear piercings. You know what I mean? Like, it's really not that big of a deal. And I just think that it sucks because if she really is genuinely on this path of, discovering Christ, I say good for her. Like, it's her life, and let her do that. I feel like the Christians should be welcoming to that, in my opinion, but obviously everyone's fully entitled to their opinion, of course, too. Also, you know what I think is really weird too is that she actually just came out and she's like blacking out her whole stomach to black out all of her tattoos, which I'm like, girl, couldn't you just get them removed? Like, or couldn't you just like, I don't know, get them covered? I don't know. I just thought that was really extreme to like black them all out rather than get it removed. Don't you guys think that's a little bit weird? I don't know. Maybe I'm just tripping on that, but I'm just like, I would rather have it removed than like black out my whole entire stomach. I have to let you guys know before getting into like other topics. We're gonna be talking about Kanye West for a good little chunk of this video because there's a couple things about Kanye West I want to talk about, and I've come to find out that my viewers just don't like Kanye West. And I think that it kind of sucks because, look, I understand that he's a little bit out there and he may seem a little bit, he just seems a little different. Let's just go ahead and say. But in my opinion, and maybe I'm just way too empathetic, I don't know, but I feel like he changed after his mom died. I feel like he was really close with his mom and she died tragically. Like, she was just getting, what was she getting? Like some type of surgery, like a cosmetic surgery, and then she ended up passing away. Like, I feel like after that, he really changed as a person, because if you look at him before that, he was totally fine. He was, normal. Yeah, of course, I think he was a little bit arrogant and whatnot, but he was obviously known for being a musical genius. So, of course, you're going to have a little bit of arrogance with that title. But I think after his mom died, I just feel like he kind of lost it. And I think a lot of people hate on him, but I'm like, no, I think that he just kind of needs guidance. I think that he just needs help. Oh, while we're talking about Kanye though, did you guys see, what was this, like last month or maybe even 2 months ago at this point? I don't really remember. Did you guys see while he was in Italy, supposedly his wife was giving him head on a boat? I saw this from two different angles. I saw one from the front end of the boat and then one from the back end of the boat, and I was like, I don't really think that she was giving him head. I think that he was just there with his pants like sagging and his butt crack was out. I don't know. I heard he was like banned from like going to that specific part of Italy or something like that. I don't know if that was a rumor. It was probably a rumor. But I was like, I don't really think that he was getting head. Am I tripping on that? You guys let me know. We're going to be talking about the Kanye West stuff after. If you guys have not seen, I did do a full video about James Charles and Sugar and Spice from RuPaul's Drag Race. You guys can click on that. But I do want to summarize this in this video because I thought this was a little bit trippy. This didn't happen this week, but it did. It happened like 3 weeks ago. But the thing is, I barely saw it this week. That's why I barely made the video about it. And I thought this was trippy because it's just one thing after another with James Charles. And I have to say, y'all, if you guys watch my drama videos, you guys know I am just so like, hey, people are going to make mistakes. People are going to say the wrong thing. People are going to say something a little offensive. It's all about how you learn and grow from life. That's just me and my personal prerogative. I feel like if we all hold everybody down to like, oh, you said this 10 years ago, you're a horrible person. It's like, damn, you're not giving anybody room to grow. So I have always been really, really lighthearted with James Charles, but I just feel like as the years go on, it's just one thing after another. And I think that it's really crazy for somebody like Sugar and Spice to come out and put him on blast, because I would think personally that James Charles would treat them with the utmost respect and be like cool and try to be friends with them because they were on RuPaul's Drag Race. And I'm sure they're probably going to end up being on a RuPaul's Drag Race spinoff. So I would think that he would want to remain cool with them. But apparently he is not remaining cool with them. And he actually unfollowed them from social media, which was weird. And they had a collab in the works and they ended up dropping the collab, of course. And then he unfollowed them, which I think is really weird. I want to know what went down, but they said that he basically like ignored them in his own home. I guess he invited them over and didn't even make eye contact with them while talking. And I'm just like, James Charles. Anyways, just wanted to touch on that just in case you guys don't want to watch the full video. I want to talk about Julia Fox right now and Kanye West. Yes, we're jumping into the Kanye West stuff, okay? It's so crazy because when I first discovered Julia Fox, I'm just keeping it real with you guys. I did not like her. I was like, girl, you're annoying. You're annoying. Like, why are you talking like that? Like, it seemed like she was trying to be like an actor. Like, the way she would be like, uncut gems. And the way that she would just like drag everything out. I was like, girl, you're trying to like act like a Valley girl. I don't really know if she is a Valley girl. Maybe she is. I don't know. But I'm like, it just seems like it's so, I don't know, disingenuous. You know what I mean? Like, it just seemed like she was being somebody that she's really not. I have to say, my opinion has changed. Okay. The more that I watch Julia Fox and the more that I see her in interviews, I'm like, I actually really like her. She seems really down to earth, really humble, and just really realistic. And then like she went viral on TikTok for showing her apartment. I forgot when this was. And people are all roasting her. And I'm like, she's just showing that she's a real person. Okay. She has clutter going on in her house. And I like that because my house is a clutter. My life is a clutter. My mind is a clutter. Okay. So I was like, oh, I appreciate that. My opinion has changed, you know, and this is why I say people go in on like, oh, first impressions are the most important. I'm like, no, that is not true. Like people have bad days. People have, you know, accidentally say the wrong thing. Like me, y'all, I'm just one of those people that have like a diarrhea of the mouth and some things just pop out and I'm like, whoa, didn't mean to say that, but it just came out. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you can't just judge people off the first impression. I give them at least 3 times, you know, because I have to say the more that I started watching her, I'm like, oh, I like her. I really do. She seems really cool. I actually just saw too that she was doing Drew Barrymore's makeup, which it was a hot mess. It was a hot mess. But you know what? I thought it was really cute. And it looked like Drew Barrymore was having a really good time having her makeup done by her. And as you guys know, though, Julia Fox she'd be doing some crazy old winged out makeup. And I'm like, okay, do you, girl? I don't think it's that flattering, but she's pretty nonetheless. Anyways, this is what she says right here in this interview. This is the headline. Julia Fox claims that dating Kanye West was like having a second baby. And this is a quote from her directly. I had my son and then Kanye, want to talk on the phone a lot. Like I'd have to change diapers. So I bought a pair of AirPods so I could keep it in while I was doing mom stuff. It was so overwhelming and so unsustainable. I'm sorry, but I could definitely picture that. It does seem like Kanye is a handful. It seems like he requires a lot of attention. That's why it blows my mind that him and Kim were together for so long, because it does seem like, I don't care what you say about Kim, like she seems like a really well put together girl. She really does. Like she seems like she just has everything in order. There's structure in her life. I wish that I could be like that. It just seems like everything is just organized and perfect. And she just seems like a go-getter and she has goals and she has so many businesses. And I'm like, how are you this like business mogul and mom of how many kids? And then you're dealing with Kanye West. I'm like, woof. And I get it, obviously. She probably was trying to like hold together with Kanye to like, you know, keep it together for her kids. But I have to say, in my personal opinion, I feel like sometimes it's better to just get divorced and separated than to like force a relationship just for your kids. Because sometimes it's better to just go ahead and have separate, you know, birthdays and separate Christmases rather than growing up in toxicity, you know, because I just think sometimes people are not meant to be together, and don't try to hold it together for your kids because you're going to end up doing more damage in the long run. Anyways, This is another part right here, semi having to do about Kanye West, because Kim Kardashian came out and said that she was hiring a manny. And no, not Manny, MUA. A manny is a male nanny, for those of you that didn't know, because I didn't know that. I was like, what's a manny? This is what it says right here. Kim Kardashian reveals that she hired a manny for her son to have a male influence following split from Kanye West. And this is a quote from her directly. I do think my household and even my family is very female dominated. I recently hired a manny. I really wanted a male around that was going to be picking him up and taking him to sports, and I was scared out of my mind to tell their dad that, which is so crazy because I could just imagine like Kanye's gonna lose his shit if he finds out that, oh my god, there's this like random male figure around my kids. And I don't know, obviously, if he did overreact or whatnot, but I have to say, in my personal opinion, you know what's really crazy? This is probably a controversial opinion to have, but I think having a male figure around is really necessary. There's this whole feminist movement where I feel like the whole feminist movement now has turned into like hate men, which I'm like, that's what? How's that working out? You know what I mean? But I personally feel there is a lot of women out there who don't want to change a light bulb, who don't want to change their oil, who don't want to change a tire, who don't want to do things around the house like fixing the plumbing. You know what I mean? That is not to say that females can't do it. Of course, you know? Like, for example, just keeping it real, like my sister can do way more than I could do. Like she could change brakes, she could change oil, change tires. Like she got it all. Like she could put together IKEA furniture in like 30 minutes. It takes me like 18 hours. You know what I mean? So yes, of course, there is females out there that can do that. But then there's also those females out there who just want to be the typical girl and they want those typical gender roles. And I don't see anything wrong with that. I think if you want a man who's going to do all the manly things and you do all the feminine things, like that's totally fine. I don't really see the problem with that. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I personally agree. I think that a man should be around who is obviously going to, you know, be a good male figure in their son's life if Kanye is not going to be around all the time. And you know what's really crazy, and I'm just saying this too from personal experience, like if I was raised by my mom only, I wouldn't know how to do anything. I really wouldn't, because my dad, it's like he taught us how to do everything. My mom literally can't even book a flight on her own. Like legitimately she can't. Like, so I wouldn't have learned anything. So that's why I'm like, no, I kind of agree. I think that having my dad around was really great for me. So therefore, you know, I think that it would be good for him too. Hopefully Kanye didn't overreact to that, but I definitely could see him overreacting to that. Next up right here, y'all. This one right here kind of, he got me a little mad. It got me a little mad. I don't know if y'all saw this. Emily Blunt got called out for calling a waitress enormous. The part that bothered me about this, and y'all know me, I am not sensitive whatsoever. Like, y'all can, my second channel is called Fat Bros Travel. Like, I don't mind being called fat. I don't think it's negative. I think there's skinny people in the world. I think there's fat people in the world, and that's just it. You know what I mean? It's just a word, not that bad. She felt the need, though, in a interview, she was doing an interview for some British like talk show, to call the waitress enormous when she was telling this story. I was like, there's absolutely no need for you to give that descriptor. She called this waitress. Basically, her point of her story was telling the interviewer, like, oh, there was this waitress, you know, and I'm assuming it was from down south somewhere, because she was doing like a southern accent. And she's like, oh, has anybody ever told you that you look like Emily Blunt? And she's like, yeah. And she's like, are you Emily Blunt? And she's like, yeah. Well, she felt the need to say in there that, oh, she's so enormous, Chili's must be giving freebies. Okay, I understand the point of your story, because it was like, oh, a waitress said that you look like Emily Blunt, and then turns out to ask that you are Emily Blunt. But then what's the purpose of you calling her enormous and saying that Chili's is giving out freebies? Not getting it. Like, it just seems like really mean girl energy, and it wasn't even funny. Like, I love a good joke. Like, I really do. Like, y'all, back in the day when I was like blowing up on social media, people would roast me in the comments, and I was like, oh my god, this is so fun. I would react to them. It was really fun. Like, I'm like, that's a good one, because I roast myself all day long, so I love a good roast. But this was just rude. Like, you did not need to say that. And then on top of that too, this girl obviously knew who Emily Blunt was. She's probably seen her movies before. She's probably a fan of her movies. And I do have to say, I think she's a really great actress. I love the movies that she's been in. But I'm just like, damn, that was just really rude. Like, you did not need to do that. But apparently she did come out and make an apology about it. I actually haven't read her apology to see what she had to say. But I think, okay, and this is just my opinion, I think that a lot, not all, I think that a lot of people from the UK have this whole image of like, oh, fat Americans. And it's kind of mind-blowing to me, because first of all, there's fat people all around the world. And on top of that too, I watched this was it on Discovery Plus, I think that's what it's called. I watched this whole documentary about the world's largest man, and he's from the UK. So I'm like, how a lot of people from the UK, because I always see these like little clips on TikTok of people being like, oh, a fat American. I'm like, you guys got fat people over there too. This is literally the world's largest man. He's in the UK somewhere. So come on. You know what I mean? There's fat people everywhere. Anyways, I just thought that was really rude. And hopefully her apology was authentic. And hopefully, hopefully she doesn't do that again. I just don't. I didn't even see the purpose of it. Like, it had served no purpose to her story. You didn't need to say this enormous waitress. And on top of that, too, if they're giving out freebies at Chili's, sign me up, okay? Because I love Chili's. Anyways, moving on to the next topic right here. We're going to be talking about Maluma. Okay, Maluma announced that he is going to be a dad, which kind of mind-blowing to me because in my head, he's always been a daddy. So not really getting how he's coming out saying that he's going to be a dad. He did this while he was on tour. And I have to tell you guys this little story. About 6 or 7 years ago, I was in Vegas at Omnia. Maybe it was about 7 years ago now. I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. You guys could probably look it up. It was for like his 22nd birthday or 23rd birthday. I don't know. Anyways, while I was there, I didn't know who he was. I didn't know Spanish music at this time. Bad Bunny really hadn't came out with too much music. I think that he only had like 2 popular songs, maybe 3, I don't know. But he was more so a little bit underground, during this time. I think who was really popular in the Spanish world was Ozuna during the time. But I really wasn't into too much of Spanish music at this time, so I didn't know Maluma at all, right? So he's there celebrating his birthday. They got the big old Maluma sign and they're all popping off bottles and whatnot, whatever. I was like, oh, cool. And I saw him, right? Because we had a table too. And we were sitting close to him. I was like, that's a good looking man, Anyways, please tell me why I go to the bathroom. Didn't even know he was in there. As I'm walking into the bathroom, he has 2 big old security guards. And y'all know I'm a big guy. Okay, so for me to say big, I was like, whoa, they're big, As I'm walking into the restroom, one of them shoves me. Like straight up just pushes me. I'm like, I wanted to just start scrapping. I really did. I was like, okay. But then I was like, I'm gonna get my ass beat. Like straight up, I'm just gonna get my ass beat because like there's 2 of them. They have to be like, honestly, y'all, they have to be pushing like 6, 7. They were big guys. I was like, I'm gonna get tore up. So I was so mad because I was like, what the hell? Like I didn't even know. First of all, I didn't know until after that it was Maluma's security guard. I didn't even use the restroom. I walked outside and I told my homegirl, I was like, these fools just pushed me for absolutely no reason. As soon as they came out, it's because they were with Maluma, right? My homegirl. I have this like memory engraved in my brain because it was so hilarious. She's about 5'5". She's a chunky girl, but she about 5'5". Okay, they're a good over a foot taller than her. She goes and she pushes the security, and the security guard's like, "What the hell?" And she's like, "You pushed my friend. You pushed my friend." And he's like, "Oh, my bad, my bad." Like he ended up apologizing, but it was just so funny that I was like, my little 5'5" homegirl was over here trying to fight with the security guard that I was scared of. It was just so funny. I was like, damn. But anyways, congratulations to Maluma for going to becoming a dad. Good for him. Okay, now we're going to be moving into the Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears stuff. And this has the whole internet divided. I am going to be reading an article because I feel like there's so many details that I want to like read it so that way I cover everything. I will 100% be picking up her memoir. It does come out on October 24th, I believe. Well, I say picking up, but I think I'm going to do the audiobook. As you guys know, I just can't read a book. Like, I just can't. Like, it's like in my brain, out through my brain, can't remember it. So hopefully she does have an audiobook, and hopefully it's her reading it. I think that would just be so much more captivating if she's the one reading it. Like, hearing the stories that she's going to be telling in her voice, I think will be better, in my opinion. Well, if you guys had not seen, it's already coming out that she did have an abortion with Justin Timberlake. This was mind-blowing to me because if you guys don't remember while they were together, they used to swear up and down that they did not have any type of intercourse. And I'm like, you guys are 2 beautiful people. You guys are the it couple, America's couple. You're lying. You're lying. And I know they were doing that obviously because they had a younger fan base, so they didn't want to be promoting, sex and stuff like that, which I get, but I'm like, you guys are lying. And now it comes out that she, had an abortion. I have to say, I don't understand how people don't get, because a lot of people were like, well, she was a woman at the time. She was a consenting adult. Like, she had the decision to keep the baby or not. Like, he couldn't force her to do it. And I'm like, have you guys never been with anybody who tries to pressure you to do something? When you think that you're so in love with somebody and you're like, oh my gosh, like this person's my everything, of course you're going to be pressured by the person. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, have you not been in a situation like that? People like to think that like, oh, they're so strong and they're like, no, I would never do that. Until you're in those shoes, you don't know. Because when you think that you're like all in love with somebody, like you're going to do anything and everything for them. You know what I mean? Which sometimes you have to learn and grow from that and realize, whoa, I was making a wrong decision, And I think that if he obviously was, I don't want to say like, if he was pressuring her to do it, I'm sure she's going to just give in. Like, damn, he doesn't want to be a dad. Maybe he's all saying like, this is going to ruin my career. It's going to ruin your career. I'm sure it was something, but During this time, Justin Timberlake had us all fooled though, because he of course came out with "Cry Me a River," which was about her cheating. He even had a lookalike, in his video. I was like, oh, Britney cheated on him. I was like, Britney's still my girl though. Don't play. I don't even care, because I went to her. She was y'all. The first concert that I've ever been to was a Britney Spears concert. I went in like 2007, I think it was, maybe 2008, I forget. She was at the Honda Center. It was right after like "Give Me More" came out. It was a bomb concert. And yes, she was not singing live. I don't care. I don't care. It was still a great concert, okay? Anyways, let me go ahead and read this article right here from TMZ. It says Britney Spears took most of the blame for years after she and Justin Timberlake split due to speculation she cheated. But she's accusing him of doing the same thing with another celebrity, one of many revelations in her new memoir. Britney's Woman in Me doesn't drop until next week, but the cheating claim is just another chapter when it comes to the relationship with the NSYNC star. Remember when when we were first to report, Britney also says she and Justin got pregnant when they were 19, and she claims he pushed for the abortion she eventually had. In the book, we're told Britney doesn't name the person with whom Justin allegedly stepped out, saying the woman now has a family Brit doesn't want to embarrass, which means fans will inevitably start trying to connect the dots on their own. Which that's me. I'm just keeping it real. Yes, I am one of those people that I'm like, who was it? I'm all thinking like, who was he close with during the time? Who was he kicking it with? Who did he do collaborations with? Because I'm curious. I'm like, who was it that he cheated on Britney with? Because I have to know. I feel so awkward like taking a drink of my drink while filming. Because I'm like, do I look away? What do I do? Do I look at the camera? This is weird. I'm like on live, obviously, it's just like you kicking it with a friend. And I'm like, with a recorded video, I'm like, oh, I feel a little bit weird. If I'm being honest with you guys, there is something in my eyes so bad. Anyways, I'm just so curious to know who this person is, okay? Continuing on here, of course, Justin dropped his massive hit, "Cry Me a River," in 2002, admitting he wrote it after a nasty argument with Spears, with many believing she had cheated on him. Britney never denied the claims and released her song "Every Time" the following year. A song her writing partner says was a direct response to "Cry Me a River." Britney's lyrics in the song include, "I may have made it rain. Please forgive me. My weakness caused you pain. And this song's my sorry." So obviously that is kind of like misleading there, but there's the whole internet now that is saying that that song is actually about the abortion. I don't really know, but it kind of, in my opinion, seems like it's more so for "Cry Me a River." Kind of goes a little bit more hand in hand, but I guess because people were saying like, oh, like, there's a woman having a baby in the video. And I'm like, well, maybe it's a little bit of both. You know what I mean? Anyways, this is the last part of it right here. However, since we broke the story about the abortion, some fans have speculated Every Time is actually about the pregnancy and abortion, especially because the music video features a woman giving birth at the end, like I just said. Britney and Justin first met while working together on the Mickey Mouse Club in 1992 and then dated from 1999 to 2002. What's not clear who allegedly cheated on whom first, but Britney is at least airing out her side and more in the memoir, set to drop October 24th. I will be listening to that as soon as the audiobook is available, absolutely. I have to say though, in this, like, the whole internet is so divided, but also at the same time too, like, they were so young, you know what I mean? Like, I know everyone like pins Justin out to be this like horrible person, and hey, you know what, I'm sure he's made a lot of mistakes in his life and his career, but I think like it does suck that like he's being, I don't know, kind of like turned out to be this horrible person, which, can you just imagine though, at 19 years old? Like, it sucks for both of them. I think that he's like, oh shit, like maybe I'm not ready for this, and maybe she really was. Like, you know what I mean? It's a very difficult situation, and I really do sympathize for the both of them. Obviously, more so Britney, because I just feel like, y'all, her career has just, it's been a lot for her. She really has been through a lot, and just the things that she was forced to do. Sherry Shepherd actually came out in an interview recently and called her crazy. She's like, oh, she's crazy, crazy, crazy. And I'm like, look, I totally get it. If you're a aware person, if you can visibly see things, you're going to obviously know that Britney Spears is not all there mentally. But it's like, of course, she's not going to be there mentally. Do you know what I mean? She was forced onto medication that she shouldn't have been taking. She was forced into doing all these shows and tours that she didn't want to be doing. She didn't have any type of freedom. She was like ecstatic to get an iPad. She was an ecstatic person to get an iPad. An iPad. I'm like, girl, I have an iPad. You're a multi-millionaire. During the time she was like on the Vegas residency, she was making like $425,000 per show. And she was excited to get an iPad. I'm like, damn, they really did a number on her. So I thought it was kind of messed up that Sherry Shepherd's over here like calling her crazy, because it's like, okay, if you were trying to be a like caring person, you very easily could have said, you know what, I think that she's not all there, but she obviously had a lot of mental damage done to her because of this medication and because of the circumstances she was put in, I was like, that's a little bit messed up. Anyways, y'all, this wraps up the video. Make sure you guys let me know what you guys think about the whole Britney Justin situation. I feel bad for, both of them. I think that they were young, and I think that's a very, very difficult decision to make. But I'm really curious to know, like, who cheated on who first, because they definitely cheated. Like, there was some type of cheating going on, And I think it's really crazy, though, that we didn't really know the full story back then, and we're barely hearing it. But this makes so much sense why Justin Timberlake was so, like, eager to get his hands on the book before it was released. If you guys don't remember, him and Colin Farrell, I believe it was, wanted to actually read the book before it came out. They had their lawyers reach out to Britney Spears. I don't know whatever ended up happening with that, but they wanted to know what was going to be written about them in the book. So I'm really curious. Also, too, can I just say, wouldn't it be mind-blowing? Wouldn't it be mind-blowing if Justin Timberlake cheated on Britney Spears with Christina Aguilera? Because don't you guys remember during this time, they were like pinning Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears like against each other, and I'm like, damn, they both can be successful pop stars. Like, why do they have to be pinned against each other? Maybe they both can succeed in life, But I'm just saying, wouldn't that be really messy if it was Christina Aguilera? That would be crazy. Anyways, that wraps it up for this video. Make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. I need to know if you guys like this. If you guys want me to continue doing it every Sunday, give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Girl Scout.